Hi, my name is Dr. Michael Green. I'm an OBGYN. I'm the Chief Medical Officer of Winona. And for some of you, I'm your personal doctor, and I'm here to answer questions. And so the question I want to answer today is, how do I know I'm in perimenopause? And really, you're going to know this by the symptoms that you have. And so there's these clusters of symptoms that tend to happen as women go through this hormone transition, this menopause transition, going through what we call perimenopause, which is that transition before the periods completely stop. And then a year without periods we define as menopause, and then after that would be postmenopause. So how do you know you're going through this transition phase? And it really has to do with symptoms. And so if you've had this symptom all your life, it's probably not from your hormones changing. But if all of a sudden things start feeling different, and you're say 35, somewhere between 35 and 59, a couple of these add up, and you realize this is from my hormones. And so the most sort of classic symptoms are hot flashes and night sweats. But even if you don't have hot flashes and night sweats, that doesn't mean you're not going through the transition. Surprisingly, less than 50% of women actually get hot flashes or night sweats during the menopause transition. So even though that's the one people talk about most, it's kind of the one you see on cartoons and things like that, there are a lot of women that don't get that, but they still get other symptoms that are important and can be really bothersome. So some of the other symptoms that herald this transition would be sleep disturbances. You're not able to get to sleep or stay asleep. Women get brain fog during the menopause transition, where they have a hard time pulling out words or names. They feel like they're a step behind, and that can be a real problem, especially during this time of life when women are really, this is a time when people are moving up in their careers and getting more and more responsibility, and you really need to be operating at full strength, so to speak, and not half a step behind because of the brain fog. And that's a very common symptom of the menopause transition. Another common symptom is weight gain, particularly weight gain in a different area than you're used to. During the menopause transition, all of a sudden, those pounds can become much harder to get off, and they tend to accumulate in the middle. That central obesity, that fat in the middle, can be a sign of the menopause transition, and hormone replacement therapy can help reverse that and get some of those pounds off, but more importantly, get it off the middle where it's not wanted. So that's a really common one as well. There can be vaginal changes. All of a sudden, you're not making lubrication like you're used to. The vagina can be dry. Sex can be painful. It can also affect the bladder, where you're having some leaking when you cough or sneeze, or you're having to go to the bathroom all the time and just a little bit comes out, or you're getting up all night to use the restroom, and that can really affect your sleep. So those are other really common changes. Skin and hair changes are common as well. The hair can thin and become brittle. The skin can start getting that age, wrinkled, older look that comes with the menopause transition. These are all really common symptoms, and usually there's a cluster of these. So most women don't have all of them, thankfully, but most women have more than one. There can also be mood changes, anxiety, depression. Depression really goes up during the menopause transition. It's really a big problem that people don't talk about. Hormone replacement therapy can help that. Same thing with anxiety. So these are all things. Now, if you've sort of been an anxious person all your life and it hasn't really changed, it's probably not a symptom. But if that's never been an issue for you, and all of a sudden you're getting all this anxiety, that could be one of the signs that you're in perimenopause. So when you start getting these symptoms, it's time to think, maybe it's time to replace my hormones and get these symptoms under control and get feeling better again. And so those are ways to understand that you're in the perimenopause.